What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again with another player ratings video. We are rating the final home game of our pre-season against Shakhtar. We won 5-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm here with Brian Daigle to go through each player and see how they did. And without further ado, we'll start off with Guillermo Vicario, and we gave him 7s each. To be fair, just like most of pre-season, hasn't been that busy, didn't have too much to do. We had one thing to do in the first half, which was pick the ball out the back of the net, and then made a very good save in the second half. So people have been a bit meh on him so far in pre-season, but it's so hard to judge, isn't it?
There is also where you missed out when he came out, anticipated the ball in front of the striker, when he could have easily gone down for a penalty. He came out and claimed it very, very quickly. And as what impressive, someone told me he was at the game, and we heard it on the voice of my friend James, saying that apparently he was vocal the whole match, like organising everyone, screaming and shouting to make sure people were in the right positions. And like you said, he's been given a bit of unfair criticism because obviously getting adapted
goals.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think that save you mentioned was a terrific save.
Yeah, very quick reactions to tip it over one-handed. And as you say, I thought it was very impressive the way he got down low when that striker was through on goal and was able to get a hand to it and stop any shot even, which was when he was trying to get rounded. So impressive. A couple of moments there from Vicario, but again, not tested too much. Let's move on to the right back, Emerson Royale. We both gave him 7s here. I thought it was a really good display. I think he gives us a nice balance in the fullback area. I actually think when it comes to the inverted fullback role, I think he's good when he's actually in the midfield bit of it. He likes to keep things simple. He doesn't overcomplicate things. I actually think he's less comfortable when he's going out wide in those kind of areas and he's asked to, like, whip in crosses or link the play in that way. I think he's actually a bit more comfortable in the central areas because he basically just keeps the ball, doesn't overcomplicate things, and then allows the better players a bit more space for them to flourish. So I'm liking him in this role. Defensively, he's pretty solid as well. He's more solid than Porro. Looks like he might get the nod for the time being for the right-back slot. Yeah,
I agree. And you look at it, we finally got a right-back playing as a right-back, as opposed to last season playing right-wing-back, which wasn't his position. He does the defending very, very well. Going forward, like you said, he's stopped trying to do the things he can't do, and he's getting a bit more just do the stuff that you're comfortable with and then pass it on. And I think he's going to go from strength to strength this season.
Definitely. Next up, we've got Cuti Romero. I gave him an 8. Brian gave him a 7. I thought in the first half he was doing some superb defensive work, a lot of aggressive interceptions, a lot of tackles. I thought when Shakhtar were on the counter, a lot of the times he was the one who stopped it. Second half, I thought he had a lot less to do, to be honest, apart from late in the game when Shakhtar started to get a couple chances when we were about 3 or 4-1 up already. But I think by and large he was dominant. I thought maybe, apparently a few times he could have got the ball moving a bit quicker. Apparently Ange was on his case about that. But I thought defensively it's pretty much what we expect from Cuti.
Yeah, and the only reason he's gone down a mark from me is, like you and Ben were commenting in the watch along, this man just has to get booked. It's like getting a goal. It's like scoring a goal for him, as you and Ben said. And I think Ben said we've played 3 games. He's been booked twice. All right, it doesn't count in anything, but
it's still pre-season.
Yeah, it's still pre-season, and the card was not needed, and that's it. Otherwise, he's looking a lot more solid, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I thought it was a good performance from him. Next up, his partner was Ben Davies on this occasion. I gave him a 6, Brian gave him a 5. I did think defensively he was probably our biggest liability, to be fair. I thought they were targeting that area of the pitch to try and get him behind, and they did get a bit of joy on that side a few times. Especially had a one-on-one, which just whistled past the post. I think their right back actually was getting in some good areas at that time. Although that's not totally on Ben Davies. I thought on the ball, his passing was pretty crisp and was progressive and allowed us to keep possession in a good way. I thought his line breaking passes were decent. I thought just defensively he's our biggest liability, so that's why I marked him down.
Yeah, that's why he's got a 5 from me. It's literally, I think we can all say if Van de Ven was playing, that goal doesn't happen because of his sheer height and presence. That's not Ben Davies' fault that he ain't as tall as Mickey Van de Ven, but it's another goal coming from the left-hand side. And I didn't get to see much more from him, so gave him a down the middle.
Yeah, and that's a becoming issue, isn't it? Because I think every single goal, 2 against West Ham, 1 against Singapore Sailors, and 1 against Shakhtar, every single goal has been a cross from the right and a header.
Yep.
I think every single one. Next up, we got Destiny Udogie. We both gave him 8s, and I thought he was absolutely fantastic again, carrying on his brilliant form in pre-season. I think he's actually the perfect mix when it comes to like a player like Emerson, who's comfortable in the inverted areas where he can keep things simple, but actually he also feels very comfortable when he's on the wing and underlapping or overlapping, providing an option for the winger, and also getting to the byline and providing crosses and assists himself. Was unlucky not to get on the score sheet on a couple of occasions, but unfortunately his shots were a bit too powerful, a bit too high, so wasn't able to get them on target. But he was getting into all sorts of areas. So he was linking up with Son really well as well. I think he never really stopped throughout the whole 90 minutes. He was a constant threat, a constant menace for Shakhtar to deal with. And when he had to keep things simple, I thought he was really good at doing that as well. Just making sure that his passes find a teammate, not doing too many things over elaborate in the centre. So another really good display from Destiny.
He's just a bundle of power, energy, and pace, isn't he? He's really got everything that we need to see from that left back. I was a little bit disappointed he didn't take that shot on in the second half when it came to him and he tried to pass it or take an extra touch. But I think the scouting and Paratici have done a very, very good bit of work in finding this guy. We've got a real talent on our hand. He's done very well all pre-season, hasn't he?
He has. I think he's definitely been our brightest left back for sure.
Yep.
And I actually thought maybe he wasn't going to start the season as our starting left back. I thought maybe Reguilon with a bit more experience would get the nod, but I think he's impressed so much. I think it would be difficult to ignore him now when it comes to start the Premier League season. Next up, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. We both gave him 6s. In for the... I wouldn't say injured, but Bassoon was on the bench with a slight knock, so Højbjerg got the nod in this game. I don't think he was bad. I thought when he was on the ball, his passing when he was in the Shakhtar half was pretty good, and it allowed us to get into dangerous zones. He was finding the likes of Maddison and Sarr and Harry Kane in very dangerous areas, and there were some really beautiful switches of play to Heung-min Son, especially in that first half, which was really good. But I think there are a few occasions that not only I but Ange seemed to be getting frustrated with him, where he had a bit of time and a bit of ability to play a pass, and instead, especially when we were in our own half, he panicked a bit and just lumped the ball forward and wasn't calm and composed. And I think on those occasions it was a bit frustrating. I think occasionally as well, just like always with Højbjerg, his passing can be a bit lack a bit of care, and that did happen on a few occasions. I did think by and large he was decent, but I think on those few occasions they are the standout points for Højbjerg.
Yeah, for me, he had a Pierre-Emile Højbjerg game, which is sturdy, dependable. But the thing is, like you said, I think this change in play, more advanced and more quicker and more progressive and more attacking football, maybe just doesn't suit him. I think we're seeing that he isn't going to be part of Ange's plans in my books. As much as I love him, but Pierre-Emile Højbjerg does what he says on the tin, doesn't he?
Definitely. I thought it was decent. Next up is Pape Matar Sarr. I gave him a 7. Brian gives him an 8. Definitely growing in confidence now. He's started the last couple games, and Ange has been singing his praises. And I think we're definitely starting to see that confidence bear out on the football pitch. I thought, again, another really strong display, full of energy. In a weird way, I feel like he's actually he looks more in the game when the opposition have the ball and like we're pressing, and like he's hounding him down and winning possession back, and then in the transitions, he's having a few shots, he's getting involved. I actually felt like when we're in settled possession, he's not as comfortable as when we're in transition, so maybe it's something for him to work on. But he's taking some really good shots from outside the box, which sometimes his efforts haven't been so good, but a couple of left-footed strikes which were really decent, and I thought he helped the team really well when it came from pressing and winning the ball back, and I thought it was another really good display from him.
Yeah, I'm going to be with Ange. I am singing his praises. This kid, when people say that we might need to sign a DM or another midfielder, I think we've got it in Pape Matar Sarr. I think he is going to be an exceptional player for us. And like you said, he is growing and growing and growing in confidence. And I think it's a real big season for him. He's another one that's had a very, very good pre-season, isn't he? He has come out with absolutely enhancing his reputation, and I think he has to start against Brentford.
All right, next up we have James Maddison. 8s all round for him. Another really encouraging display, and he seems to be getting better and better as pre-season has been going on. Much more involved in this game. He won the penalty for the first goal. Really impressed with a really nice turn, and I thought he was just at the centre of everything intricate in and around the penalty area, linking up with Kulusevski a number of times, Harry Kane a number of times. Brilliant assist for the second goal as well, with a lovely float across to the back post. And I thought in and around the penalty area a few times he was showing his ability in tight spaces to wriggle away from players, get shots off when it didn't seem possible, and I thought it was a really good display. He seems to be growing with confidence and leadership game by game. He was trying outside of the boot through balls which were coming off for Son. He's trying shots from outside the box. I think this guy's going to be a real star.
Yeah, completely. I mean, that outstep of the foot past the Son in the second half was just exquisite, was absolutely beautiful. And like I said, there was that time where outside of the edge of the area we had a part and no one could get a shot off, and he just came in, came out, came back in and got his shot off. It's something we have been sorely missing for the last few years since Eriksen, and the big thing is keeping him fit, because if he picks up an injury, he's one of those that could be out for a month or two, but he is growing in confidence, and it's going to be a very fun season watching him.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to how he gets on this season. Next up, we got Dejan Kulusevski. I gave him a 9. Brian gives him a 7. I thought he was outstanding, especially in the second half. I thought first half, he wasn't so involved, but when he was involved, he was quite effective and was able to have a couple of shots and goal and create a few chances. But unfortunately, wasn't getting the right positions often enough. But I thought in the second half, he was absolutely sensational. I thought he was a constant menace down the right-hand side. I thought their left-back couldn't deal with him going inside or outside. He can go either way, chopping back on his left foot, creating chances and getting shots off on that way. He got 2 assists during the game. 1 good assist with a nutmeg through ball to Harry Kane for his goal. A nice cross in for Dane Scarlett for his goal at the end as well. And I thought time and time again, he was just relentless in taking on the Shakhtar fullback. And he was showing his ability in one-on-one dribbling situations to really strike fear into a fullback like he did in this occasion. And I just thought he was absolutely fantastic. And hopefully it's a sign of growing his confidence coming back for Kulusevski.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason he's got a 7 from me, I was thinking of giving him an 8, was because of the first half performance. If I had to mark him just on the second half performance, he's getting a 9. He was back to his best, exceptional, and that pass for Harry Kane's hat-trick, the through the legs assist, was what we saw when he first came to Spurs. I've given him some stick in the pre-season, but that second half performance was what we all know Kulusevski can do. Like you said, he gave their left-back an absolute torrid time in that second half. And it would have been a higher mark if it was just based on the second half. But solely the first half brought him down, but a wonderful performance from him.
All right, next up we have Heung-min Son. I both gave him 6s. Wasn't a terrible performance, but again, out on the left-hand side, I think he can play that role. He just doesn't look totally comfortable. And I feel like Son used to be a player who used to, use his dribbling ability to get himself in positions to take shots, and now he's trying to get himself in positions to whip in crosses. And I don't think he's as good as that when he's trying to create chances rather than score goals himself. I did think he was getting in really good positions. I thought in the first half he was constantly being fouled in space on that left-hand side, and maybe it's just a matter of giving him more time in that position to get more used to what to do with that space. So I felt like he didn't really know what to do with it when he got the ball, and his link-up play wasn't at the best, although he was heavily involved in the third goal, winning, playing the quick pass into Kulusevski, who obviously slipped it into Harry Kane. He was causing them problems. I didn't feel like he was as relentless as Kulusevski was in the second half with his ability to beat the man. He did show quality. He was involved. He wasn't anonymous by any stretch, but just didn't really do enough with the ball, I felt, when he had the opportunity.
So for me, I don't know. First of all, it's his second game of the season. He has obviously he's got to get back to full match fitness now. I don't know if it's just me, and we'll see what people think. I think coming back from that injury, he has either lost a yard of pace, or he's still a little bit worried because of the injury to open his legs up and let him go at full hog and get to full speed, which I think will come the more he plays and the more confidence he'll get that his body is back to where it is. But it does look like he's a yard short of the pace. But I have absolutely all the faith in the world that he'll come back to the Son that we saw 2 seasons ago, as opposed to 1 season. He's just got to get up to match fitness.
Yeah, hopefully that's correct. Next up, we have Harry Kane. 10s all round for me and Brian. Obviously, 4 goals during the game. First from the penalty spot with a lovely penalty tucked to the right-hand side. Second was a lovely header at the back post. Third was a really nice one-touch finish. And then fourth was a rebound off Manor Solomon. Very much a lot more involved in the penalty area in this game than I feel like he was against the Sailors or against West Ham. He did have his moments to drop deep, and even when he did drop deep, he was able to influence the game, doing some nice through balls to Min-son and finding Maddison as well in some good areas. But I felt like his best work was when he was in the box as that striker that he can be, and he used his predatory instincts on a number of occasions to make sure that he's finishing the goal and getting the 4 goals. Could have had more as well. Thought we created a bucket load of chances in the first half. He was unlucky not to have a couple as well, with a couple of good efforts inside the box. That was the Harry Kane that we know. Absolutely fantastic striker's performance and a really good all-round game from the man, and let's just hope it's not his last in a Tottenham shirt.
Yeah, and Brian, if you're listening, the price has gone up 5 million a goal. There's an extra 20 million on the price tag now. Listen, Harry Kane did what Harry Kane does, didn't he? Like you said, he was a lot more predatory, staying in the box. If he'd scored that backheel goal as well, then the score, then I'll probably go sneaking a cheeky 11 or 12 out of 10. Listen, when a striker comes on, I gave Richarlison a 9 for coming on and scoring a hat-trick against the Lions. You score 4, it doesn't matter who you're playing against, you score 4 goals as a striker. Nothing less than a 10 from here.
Absolutely right. Going on to the substitutes, Giovanni Lo Celso, I gave him a 7, Brian gives him a 6. I thought he looked nice and sharp for his little cameo. He did only have 13 minutes on the pitch, but in those time, he took some nice set pieces. He linked up well with Kulusevski down that right-hand side, was able to fashion some opportunities. Didn't really, obviously, create too many chances, but I thought another really bright cameo from him, and he's looking a lot more involved now. Yeah, he's looking like a different player, isn't he? He's come on and taken his chance that he's got with both hands. And the only reason I gave him a 6, like I said, he was on for 13 minutes and didn't have, as opposed to the other 2 subs we're going to talk about, a direct impact with a goal or anything. But again, Gio held himself happy with his performance, as brief as it was. Yep. Now, next up is Manor Solomon, also only 13 minutes on the pitch. We both gave him 7s. Ended up bagging himself an assist, if you can call it that, with a lovely shot, which was only parried by the Shakhtar keeper into Kane's path, who was able to bury it. So it was a nice little moment for Manor Solomon. Apart from that, wasn't too involved, but it did look bright when he did get on the ball. He does look like he's very fleet of foot and able to glide past players and into space really effortlessly. But apart from the one shot he had, I don't remember too much attacking involvements he had apart from that. Yeah, I mean, like I said to you earlier on, the benefit I had as well when I was watching it, I had Hebrew commentary, and it was like Lionel Messi in his pomp playing for the Israeli commentators. So it was really good listening to that. But yeah, listen, he's come on, and he's such a direct, nippy player. Came on, had an immediate impact, and yeah, I'm excited to see what Manor's going to do. That's why he got a 7. Yeah, definitely. And last of the players, it's Dane Scarlett. I gave him an 8. Brian gives him a 7. I thought it was a really good cameo from him. Again, I actually think, looking at him now compared to how he was in last pre-season, he seems a lot bigger. He's a lot bulkier. He seems to be growing in himself. He seems more confident as well. He was out-muscling some players to win the ball on occasion, and look, his touch on a few occasions was a bit off, but I thought definitely getting the ball to him, he was definitely a lot more confident than maybe we've seen in other pre-season games. So definitely a lot more physical, and obviously the moment right at the end with a really well taken goal. The touch was a bit heavy, but his swivel on his left foot or his weaker foot, and how he arrowed into the corner with such pace, was a brilliant moment for him. A really great strike, and another good cameo for Dane Scarlett. Hopefully a sign of things to come. Yeah, Harry Kane would have been proud of that goal himself. It was that good. Made the space himself after you said a bad touch, but woof, what a finish. And I've been a big fan of Dane Scarlett's. It's good to see him getting a go. And you know what? He came on this time when he played in the Conference League. He was playing with all the second string team, so he's never had real quality up alongside him and playing with him. And like you said, he does look bigger, doesn't he? He looks a lot more put together, and that'll do wonderful for his confidence. A great finish. 100%. And last but not least, Ange Postecoglou, we both gave him 8s. Really good performance for me from the team, especially going forward. We're getting there with the combinations and the aggression, the pressing starting to get there a bit. There are some reservations about how ready we are defensively. I mean, Shakhtar did have some opportunities in this game. They were few and far between, but when they did have them, they were good chances, and they probably, well, you know, a better team might have had a few more goals, and you would expect a better team to create a few more chances. Maybe Shakhtar did, especially on the breakaway. But on when we're in possession, we definitely look creative. We look like we've got a different spark about us. I love how he got into the players at halftime for trying to basically play the last 5 minutes for halftime and just pass it around and not actually have intent. And I really like that he's getting onto the players about that early, even in a game where we ended up winning 5-1. After the game, he's making that known that that's unacceptable, and he's saying a lot of the right things. I thought we're moving in the right direction. Are we totally ready yet for the start of the Premier League? The jury's out. We'll have to wait and see next week how we perform. But I think Postecoglou's doing as best he can. I think how we've got an imprint on our style of play already and how good we are looking going forward is a credit to him so far.
What a perfect way for me to start off where you finished. Yeah, that's what you got to look at for changing the style of play, the formation, and all the heavy changes we've had this summer. To see the players doing that and taking it on board. And you heard James Maddison saying we've all bought into what the manager is saying. We're loving what he's saying we're doing. I'm loving every single second of him. Like you said, the media he's doing is brilliant. And it's just the attention to small details, isn't it? And I'm very excited with Big Ange. And 8 is a very fair rating.
100%. Well, those are player ratings. Let us know in the comment section below what your player ratings are and if you agree with what we had to say. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always,
come on you Spurs.